One. Hello, welcome to Intenga. My name is Kat and I'm from London. And today we're going to look at phrasal verbs with look. So we'll start with our PowerPoint presentation, which we'll just run through. So, look is a regular verb. In this lesson, you'll be presented with some of the most commonly used phrasal verbs in English with the verb to look. Each phrasal verb is accompanied by its definition and an example sentence. To look at something. To focus visually on a particular object. Don't look at the sun because it'll damage your eyes. To look for something. To search for something. To seek something. I've been looking for my wallet for ages, but I can't find it anywhere. To look into something, which means to investigate, to research, or to analyze. For example, as part of the research and development team, I looked into how we could use new media to expand our client base. To look over something, to check, examine, or revise something. I have to look over the presentation slides before the meeting tomorrow to make sure there are no mistakes. To look something up. To search for something in a list or a book. I don't know what the word ambivalent means. I ought to look it up in a dictionary. To look up. When a situation appears to become more positive. The team's chances seemed dire, but then their star player scored 2 goals and things began to look up. To look out for something or someone. To be careful or remain vigilant and attentive. I was looking out for our guests, but they didn't turn up. To look after someone, to care for someone, to take care of someone. I used to have a nanny who looked after me on weekdays whilst my parents were at work. To look up to someone, to admire someone, to hold someone in high regard. I've always looked up to my older siblings because they looked after me a lot when I was younger. To look down on someone, to have a low opinion of someone, or to consider oneself superior to others. Ever since he became a lawyer, he's looked down on us lesser qualified individuals. To look upon as, to consider something as, to have a certain opinion about something. He looked upon the expansion of the business as a bad idea because of the unstable economy. To look forward to something, to be excited about something in the future. I'm really looking forward to my birthday party. All my friends are going to be there. To look back on something, to think about or reflect on the past, or to reminisce. When I look back on my childhood, I always feel grateful for the privileged upbringing my parents gave me. Okay, so that was our presentation. Let's now have a look at the activities you could do linked to the phrasal verbs. So here we are in the activity box, looking at phrasal verbs with look. And our first activity, as you can see, you have looked over most of the phrasal verbs with look. So now it's time to look into the subject in a little more depth. Look at a few exercises and look for the correct answer. Match the phrasal verb to its synonym. Okay. Okay, here we have to fill in the gaps with the most appropriate phrasal verb with look. For example, my parents went away for the weekend and left me to my little brother. I only ever remember the good things my childhood. When I try to read a book in a foreign language, I get bored of having to words. Okay. I've always been interested in film, and the director I most is Hitchcock. I've been a job for a few months now, but haven't had any luck. We're off on holiday tomorrow. I've been it for ages. And finally, he's so arrogant. I hate it how it us. Okay. Rewrite the sentences using an appropriate phrasal verb with look. I've always admired surgeons because of their ability to remain calm under pressure. B. I had been seeking a job for about 3 months before I was offered this placement. And C. I'm currently researching the effects of cannabis on levels of motivation in teenagers. Young David is out in the garden alone, so I'd better go outside and keep an eye on him. And E. My best friend is getting married next week, and I'm the best man. I'm really excited about the wedding. And F. I was just thinking back to our holiday in Madrid. What a great time we had. Okay. So now you have had a go at the activities. So I'm going to show you a clip on YouTube. Okay.
Hello and welcome to the English Box. Today we are going to look at phrasal verbs with the verb to look. So let's begin by looking at the verb to look at. What does it mean? To look at means to concentrate or to focus on something visually. So at the moment I'm looking at you. And now I'm looking at the whiteboard in English Box. To look over means to check or to examine. For example, the professor could say to a student, I'll look over your essay before the next lecture. I'll check or I'll examine or I'll look more closely at your essay before the next lecture. To look up means to search for something in a book or in a list. So if you don't know a word in English, you have to look it up in a dictionary or online. To look out or look out means to be careful. So look out, a bus is coming. A friend saves your life as you try to cross the road. You can also look out for someone. This means to be careful on someone's behalf or to pay attention so that someone doesn't hurt themselves. To look up to means to admire. So when I was younger, my childhood hero was Linford Christie, the 100-meter sprinter. I looked up to him. I admired him. He was my role model. To look down on is essentially the opposite, when you have a low opinion of someone. So when someone is a snob, they think they are superior to you and they look down on you. To look up, another meaning of to look up can be when a situation is perceived to become more positive, when you become more optimistic. For example, I just won £10 on the lottery, things are looking up, things are more positive. To look upon means to consider or to have a certain opinion about something. So I look upon national debt as a serious problem. I consider national debt to be a serious problem. To look forward to something or to look forward to doing something, always remember the ing form, the gerund after to, is to be excited about a future occurrence or event. For example, I'm looking forward to going home after work. I'm looking forward to finishing work. I'm excited about it. To look back on means to reminisce or to think about past events. I look back on my life with regret. I didn't do all the things I wanted to do. I wish I had done so much more. To look after Similarly to look out for is to take care of someone or something. For example, I looked after my kids and now it's their turn to look after me. So I raised the children, now I'm old and it's their turn to take care or to look after me. To look for is to search for something or to seek something. So I've lost my wallet, I'm looking for my wallet, have you seen it? And finally, to look into means to investigate something. So I'm looking into how monkeys communicate. I'm a psychologist or a scientist, a biologist, and I want to discover how monkeys communicate. So I'm looking into it. It's either monkeys or mice. So finally, if you'd like to learn about a few other phrasal verbs, then you can click on the panels shown on the whiteboard. You have phrasal verbs including use, bring, turn, and come. And if you'd like to subscribe, click on the big fat subscribe button. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.
Well, I hope today's lesson on look has been useful for you, and I hope to see you for our next lesson. Goodbye.